Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching Blueprint Explosive Exclusive, and I'm Meghna Deka. Well, viewers, this is nothing short of a crime thriller in real life. It's a story of 4 women, 2 decades, and 1 serial killer. Is Sebastian a serial killer? That's the question many are asking. This is the man that you can see right behind me. What are the dark secrets that hides in his property in Kerala? Well, probe is currently underway. He, remember, was arrested in Kerala for one woman's disappearance, but is now under the scanner for the disappearance of 4 women in all. Let's get you the details. First, let me tell you about the case for which Sebastian has been arrested. December 23rd, last year, Matthew, who also goes by the name Jayanamma, goes missing. What really happened? The complaint has been then filed. The police start their probe, but it remained rather inconclusive till about 2 weeks ago. Suddenly, a member of Jayanamma's family gets a call from her phone, her mobile phone. The call was made from a hilly region in Kottayam. The cops managed to track that location, pull out the CDRs and find that it was Sebastian who was using Jayanamma's phone connection. Not just that, they also used mobile towers to establish that the phones of Jayanamma and Sebastian were under the same mobile tower before she went missing. What was his hand? This indicates to the police that they were in touch even before she went missing on 30th of July. Well, Sebastian gets arrested. He then comes the biggest twist in the tale. From his property, cops recover, let's tell you, as many as 30 parts of burnt human bones remains. Fragments, imagine, of 20 charred bones, I beg your pardon, which have been recovered. This is something which was found on his property. Skeletons are starting to tumble out, and quite literally at that. Let's tell you what all has been recovered. As we are just telling you, other than the 20 charred bone fragments, there were also teeth which were recovered from a pit. All of this was buried. There were blood stains and clothes and women's clothing with blood stains which were recovered. Also, a lady's bag was also recovered from his 2-acre plot where he was living. Well, the forensic evidence, of course, shows that the key is going to be to find out what and where the DNA trail really leads us. Well, the cops have reopened some of the old cases now. They are saying that there is no smoke without fire. There are some connections which are now emerging to 3 other women also who had disappeared in the last 2 decades in the same area, in the same district around Alapura. In fact, Sebastian may be the common link. That's why he's under the scanner. Let's decode the web for you. Sebastian's arrest, remember, had revived the investigations into the disappearance of Bindu Padmanabhan as well. This was in the year of 2006. All the way here you have Bindu Padmanabhan. She has been missing since 2006. She was last seen in Alapura. This is the same district where Sebastian was staying as well. These are his 4 victims. Let's get you the details of all of that. Aisha also was found missing in 2012. There you have Aisha on your screen. She too had gone missing 2010. Jayanamma, I've already told you, this was earlier last year. Then you have Sindhu as well, a lady who went missing since 2020. There is a possibility that all these 4 women and their mysterious disappearances, and in the case of Jayanamma, death, which seems to be a certain, may be linked to this man, Sebastian. So let's tell you what happened. What happened 20 to the 55-year-old Jayanamma? Here are the details. Let's start with Bindu Padmanabhan. Remember, she went missing in 2006, and as per the reports, Bindu's brother had alleged that real estate agents, including Sebastian, had taken control of her assets, which were worth several crores, by forging documents. Cops also said that they found that Sebastian had forged fake documents, and which is why he was under the scanner, but there was no direct link, which is why Sebastian was not linked to Bindu's death or disappearance. They just thought it was about forging documents and taking over her property. Then there was Aisha. What is the link of Sebastian to Aisha? Well, she was in her early 50s. She was found to be in touch with Sebastian before she went missing in 2012. Lastly, there's also Sindhu, who has gone missing 5 years ago when she went to a local temple. And it's especially sad because this was right before Sindhu's daughter's engagement. Days before that, she suddenly went missing. But just days before this engagement, why would she disappear? And what foul play was underfoot? That's the question. Allegedly, Sebastian was used to target women who were living alone to take possession of their property, their land, their gold through their fraudulent means. But remember, there were also charred bones which were found. Why were these bodies burnt? A lot of questions are now emerging, and whose bones are these after all? Investigators are suspecting that there may be a pattern now which is slowly emerging. That Sebastian may have targeted women who were specifically living alone, killed them for financial gains. Let's tell you who really Sebastian is. Well, this is the man. He was arrested on 28th of July. He's the prime accused in Jayanamma's case. He's under the lens for 3 other cases that I was telling you about. He's being probed for the disappearance of 4 women, 3 of whom I just told you about. Real estate dealer from Pallipuram. He's from a traditionally wealthy family is what we are picking up. He's also in real estate development. Now, this shocking case from Kerala, of course, reminds us of some of the earlier psychotic serial killers that we've seen in India. What really drives the diabolical minds of these psychotic killers, serial killers, is what we plan to discuss. But before that, let's revisit some of these old cases. Who can forget? 2006, you have the Nithari killers which had happened. This was, of course, one of the most noted serial killings which were reported and widely covered. Surinder Kohli and Muninder Pandey, they were both acquitted. But what really was the allegation? The allegation was that of rape, of cannibalism, of pedophilia, as well as sodomy. That is just some of them. Let's also tell you about the next one. And this was an interesting one as well, which had come in. Remember, the way back in 1988, Otto Shankar. The accused was Otto Shankar. His crime allegedly was that he had kidnapped, killed, and cremated 6 girls. Cyanide Mallika. She was accused, remember, in KD, Kempegowda, which is India's first woman serial killer. What was her crime? Well, she was convicted of robbing and killing at least 6 women devotees using cyanide. Then you have in 1985, remember, the Stoneman killers. This is still unknown as to who quashed the heads of their victims. At least 13 people were killed with stones being used to quash their skulls in. We still don't know who the Stoneman killer was. It's not just in India. Across the world, there are similar such cases. Remember, 1978 to 91, you had the Milwaukee cannibal. This was in America. The accused there was Jeffrey Dahmer. His crime was that he raped and mutilated 17 men before eating them. Yes, there was cannibalism also which was involved. 2005, you had the Granny Ripper, as she was called, in the United States. The accused name was Valentina Ulanova. Her crime was that she had drugged and cut up 11 victims with a hacksaw. That's right. She's said to have favored their lungs, is what we understand. What really is driving these diabolical minds? These are some of the questions that we must answer. Let me go across to our panelists. Today, joining us on the show, we have Ashok Kumar, former IPS officer. Also, Dr. Harish Shetty is joining us, a psychiatric. I'm going to come to you across, Ashok Kumarji, because you've been part of several of these criminal cases. You're known for the way you have hunted down criminals. But this is going to be a slightly difficult case to crack, isn't it? It's not just about Jayanamma, who went missing some time back. This man may be linked to disappearances of women all the way 20 years back. How hard is it going to be to crack a cold case like that?
I don't think it will create much problems if the bones that we have located in his house. Through the bones and blood samples, we can make out how many persons these bones and blood belongs to through forensic. It could be of one person, it could be of 10 persons. So that is very important. Forensics can establish that bones belong to how many persons. Similarly, teeth, similarly skeletons, also the blood sample. So how many different people's blood it is. So you can identify, we can nail down that these many people were killed by him. Number one.
But Ashok Kumarji, isn't it going to be hard to establish 20 years? These fragments of bones not only had been cut up, they already have been charred as well. These were charred fragments of bones and they've been lying around for 20 years in a pit. Does the quality of forensics also suffer because of that?
It will be difficult, but still I believe this forensics can make out how many people to how many persons these bones belong to. Similarly, blood samples. Also through DNA. How many persons different DNA it is. Right. So the DNA will establish exactly that how many persons he has killed.
So it will all come down to what the forensics reveal. Dr. Harish Shetty, one thing that all of us are trying to make sense, how can someone do something like this so very diabolically to plan it, would have planned it and managed to get away with it for the last 20 years to live with that as well? You must tell us what really is driving diabolical minds of serial killers, allegedly such as Sebastian's.
Let us not use the word psychotic killers for everybody. Let us say some of them are serial killers whose main motive is an antisocial tendency where you scheme, plan, kill, and your motivation is to possess either property, gold, or have sex, etc., etc.
Right.
This most probably is a serial killer. Serial killers always plan in gaps. They don't kill people suddenly or they don't kill people continuously. Okay. They have a gap between two killers. Number two, sometimes, I'm not talking about this case, sometimes it could be serial killing because of a delusional belief that if I kill the person, my lifespan will increase. If I kill the person, and it's a very delusional belief, it can happen very rarely. But most of them are psychopaths who have antisocial tendencies and plan and scheme very well. This should also be differentiated from mass murders.
Okay.
Suddenly,
explain that to us.
Yeah. Mass murder would mean there's no gap between two murders.
Okay.
It's sudden, it may not be planned, it may be murdering more than one person. But if you observe, most of the killing has been against women because they are easy targets. So, diabolical mind of this gentleman to identify these people, befriend them, probably become intimate with them, gain their confidence, gain all their papers also in case the investigation would yield, and then kill them. These are psychopaths. Let's not use the word psychotic. But if you remember years ago, there was a famous killer known as Raman Raghav, who was arrested after more than 30 to 40 killings in Bombay.
Right, of course.
But he said that he would get a hallucination and then he would kill as a consequence of the hallucination, and that is a psychotic killer. But these killers who are very well planned, very focused, and they scheme out things very beautifully, cognitively and kill, they are psychopaths, they need to be hanged.
Oh, that's very interesting what you are telling upon. But I also want you, Dr. Shetty, to throw some light. You mentioned the victims, and it's quite interesting here also. The police are saying that the victims were of a certain kind. Most of them were women. Most of them. We don't even know if there were and how many there were, but most of them appear to be women who were living alone and could be exploited for their wealth.
Yeah, women who are lonely.
Yes.
Alone. Probably distressed and depressed. He must have befriended them intelligently, providing a lot of succor and help in the initial phases, gathering their confidence, building a very strong rapport UFO, which the women could not see. It is very difficult to see through such killers. In fact, ma'am, if you would know, if you see milder form of killing, you see all over India, where men befriend girls or women for a long time, and ultimately after some time, when they're discovered, they are killed.
Yes.
So that is also serial killing of a different kind. Whereas this is a serial killing of a very specialized kind, where the man has a very devious, diabolical intelligence, which is used for purposes to kill and possess. He must have killed more women than what the police actually know.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Absolutely agree with you.
Absolutely. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And I'm surprised, and I would ask my IPS officer, the cops, are they sleeping in Kerala?
Absolutely. Let me put that across to Ashok Kumar. In fact, I did want to ask that question because it's interesting. We're going to put out the flow chart, so you'll be able to see all of them, at least 3 of these victims. You have it on your screens, as well as Sebastian belonged to Alapura. Then you had one of the alleged victims who belonged to Kottayam, which is of course a neighboring district. There was that similarity, at least geographically, which seemed to be building. Wasn't this an obvious lapse which seems to be coming up? How is it that for 20 years no one knew?
See, I would not like to comment on the competency of the police, but sometimes it happens. Usually murder workout rate in police is about 90%. 10% of the cases we are not able to work out. So despite heavy efforts, and then suddenly one lead comes up. So this particular case to me appears to be a case of gangster kind of killing, not a psychotic killing, as Mr. Sethi is saying, because it's a property crime.
Explain that, yes.
Yeah, it's a property crime, right? You kill either for sex or for property or for revenge. It appears to be a property crime, basically, which you do, either you take supari or you ask for extortion or you want to grab the property.
Right.
So this guy is grabbing the property. He is identifying the people who are living alone, who don't have a support. And if they are killed, the property you can grab by making fake documents and bribing police, etc., and bribing so many other people. Maybe sometimes these people, gangsters, use such things also, right? So this guy appears to be like that. Now in this investigation, firstly, interrogation is very important. If we interrogate him thoroughly, he may come out with all the facts. There has to be a very well-trained team. Secondly, second could be mobile phones and the CDRs. Though normally old CDRs are not available, called detailed records.
Right.
But still, something
and 20
is
years
possible.
back also, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that will be a problem. But I'm very sure if we know the victims, it will be easy to nail him down. If we know the victims, we will have many trails about their property, who was sitting in the property now.
Absolutely. But it's just that Sebastian was under the scanner due to fraudulent. At least at that time they thought it is by fraud he had acquired the property of one of his alleged victims. But at that time the police failed to trace his exact link to her disappearance and perhaps murder as well. And those perhaps are the questions which need to be answered. Unfortunately, gentlemen, we are running out of time. But thank you so much, Ashok Kumarji, as well as Dr. Harish Shetty, for joining us. It has been enlightening to get perhaps a small glimpse into this diabolical mind of the serial killer. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Well, with that,
Thank you.
we are going to be slipping into a short break. Don't go anywhere. We are going to be returning in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.